The child who was never protected learns something very early on, the world this and pause to keep them safe. Psychology tells us this moment quietly reshapes their entire nervous system. Because when danger feels constant, the brain adapts not for joy, but for sheer survival. This means that even years later, as an adult, calm can feel unfamiliar and the safety can feel suspicious. If this feels personal to you, you are not imagining it. Your reactions were learned when you had no more other choice. At its core, this psychology explains how unmet needs for protection in childhood turn into invisible rules in adulthood. These are rules about trust, boundaries, self-worth, and the emotional safety. And the research shows these rules operate automatically, driven by the brain long after the original threat is gone. Let's talk about attachment theory. When protection is missing, a child often develops one of two mind strategies: hyper-independence or anxious vigilance. Their brain learns that relying on others is risky, so the child becomes their own shield. On the outside, this can look like incredible maturity, responsibility, or strength. But underneath it all, it's fear wearing discipline as a costume. Research shows these children often grow into adults who find it incredibly difficult to ask for help, even when they desperately need it. Vulnerability once felt dangerous, and that feeling sticks. They've learned to be a fortress, but even fortresses get lonely. They might take on every task themselves, believing they're the only one who can do it right, not because of arrogance, but because of a deep-seated belief that they are their only reliable resource. This can lead to burnout and the isolation, as they push away potential support systems without even realizing it. The very strength that helped them survive childhood can become a barrier to thriving in adulthood. Your brain also adapts through something called hypervigilance. This means it's constantly scanning for threats, even in perfectly safe rooms and during neutral, friendly conversations. Psychology says this is the nervous system staying stuck in fight or flight mode. It's like the alarm system in your body is broken and it goes off at the slightest thing. As a result, small disagreements can feel overwhelming and catastrophic. Silence from a loved one doesn't feel peaceful. It feels like rejection or impending doom. And the moments of peace, they feel temporary, almost unsettling, like the calm before a storm. It can be absolutely exhausting to live this way. If you often feel on edge without knowing why, this is your body remembering what your conscious mind has tried so hard to forget. It's a physical echo of past danger, a ghost in your nervous system that keeps you on high alert, even when the coast is clear. This constant state of readiness drains your energy, making it hard to relax, to be present, and to truly enjoy life's simple pleasures. Another pattern psychology highlights is emotional numbing. When protection never came, and the emotions like fear or sadness were overwhelming, the brain learned a clever survival trick to shut them down. It's like turning down the volume on your feelings until you can barely hear them. This is why some adults feel disconnected from joy, struggle to cry even when they're sad, or feel a sense of emptiness during moments that are supposed to be meaningful, like weddings or birthdays. Research shows the brain effectively trades emotional depth for emotional safety. It's not a sign of being broken. It's a testament to adaptation. Your mind decided that feeling nothing was safer than feeling pain. The problem is, you can't selectively numb emotions. When you numb the bad, you also numb the good. This can leave you feeling like you're watching your own life from a distance, like a movie you're not really a part of. The inner critic also becomes incredibly loud for individuals who grew up without protection. When a child is hurt and no more one steps in to protect them, they often believe it must be their fault. Psychology calls this internalized blame. It's a way for a child's mind to make sense of a senseless situation. This creates a harsh, relentless inner voice that pushes for perfection, control, and the constant self-monitoring. The underlying belief, often unconscious, is, if I am flawless, if I do everything right, then you will finally be safe. Research shows this belief is a direct path to burnout, chronic anxiety, and the crippling self-doubt. That inner critic isn't really you. It's a distorted echo of an old survival strategy. It's the voice of a scared child trying to control an uncontrollable world, and it continues to run the show long into adulthood, whispering that you're not good enough, that you need to try harder, and that any mistake could lead to disaster. This also explains why relationships can feel so confusing and difficult for the unprotected child who is now grown up. On one hand, there's a deep longing for connection and love, but on the other hand, closeness activates those old, hardwired danger signals in the nervous system. So, love can feel unsafe, while distance and solitude feel strangely familiar and secure. This creates a painful push-pull dynamic. The brain wants connection, but the nervous system fears it. You might find yourself sabotaging good relationships, picking fights, or emotionally withdrawing just when things are getting intimate. If you feel lonely even when you're with people who love you, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of conditioning. Your mind and your body are in conflict, caught between the desire to be close and the deep-seated fear of being hurt again. But here is the most important thing you need to hear. None of these patterns mean something is wrong with you. Psychology is very clear on this. They mean something happened to you. Your brain did exactly what it was designed to do. It protected you when no more one else did. It built a fortress to keep you safe. And the awareness is the first, most powerful step toward rewriting those old rules. Your brain is remarkable, and it has the ability to learn new things, including how to feel safe at any age. It can learn that vulnerability doesn't have to be dangerous, that it's okay to ask for help, and that peace doesn't have to be temporary. This process of learning safety later in life happens through consistency, establishing healthy boundaries, and practicing self-compassion. It involves teaching your nervous system, little by little, that the war is over. It's about surrounding yourself with people who are predictable and kind. It's about learning to say no more to protect your energy. And most importantly, it's about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer to a friend. It's about thanking your inner critic for trying to protect you, and then gently telling it that you're in charge now. Healing isn't about erasing the past, it's about integrating it. It's about understanding that those survival mechanisms served you well, but now you can learn new ways of being that allow you to not just survive, but to truly thrive. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need this language to understand their own story. And if you want to understand your mind more deeply, subscribe to our channel. Healing begins when psychology finally gives your story a name, and you realize you are not alone. Thanks for watching.